Good morning, leaders. This is Mr. Bradley sending you a message from Pipe Lake, Wisconsin, a place I've been fortunate enough to vacation for the past 20 years as part of a cabin that my family has in northern Wisconsin. And Pipe Lake sits right behind me. Please pardon the wind as it comes through. It may get a little choppy here as I sit on the boat this morning. The last time we got together, I know it was a special moment at graduation. Before then, even looking back at the Purple Cow Party, I think Mr. Hammond and Miss Chapman and Miss Green do a good job here of getting at the tone of these events that we're having, and as we come closer to an event which is EdCamp 2014. Talking about EdCamp, I'm going to go right to this notion of flying closer, and the theme for this year's event is certainly flying closer. It's also really thinking about connecting and learning in order to fly closer. When we think about connecting at EdCamp, thinking about the extent to which we're able to learn from each other, we're able to learn from external sources, and we're able to have choice. So part of the work we're doing with EdCamp is making sure that every teacher has a choice in the events that they attend. You won't get to choose every single event. There'll be recommendations in place for different content areas, but there will be a number of different sessions that you will be able to choose from to think about areas that you want to target in your own professional growth. We're also asking that each of you consider presenting in some way, shape, or form, whether that be a 5-minute session, a 1-minute Ignite presentation, which you'll hear more about, or you're collaborating with a colleague to share ideas that you've learned or lead a brainstorming session on an issue that you feel is really important to our continued growth as a school. So EdCamp 2 weeks from today, something that everyone should hopefully be attending. I know that it is an optional event on some level, and if you do not plan to attend EdCamp, please let me know just so we can make sure that we are taking that into consideration as we support you and our school's collective learning. Something that we've built off of when we think about EdCamp was our first ever TNHS Care Camp. And TNHS Care Camp was the brainchild of Heather as she started to look at what other schools were doing to support new teachers. And Care Camp was all about allowing new teachers to understand what it means to work at Thomas Nelson, getting accustomed to some of the language, ensuring that they feel that they are aware of what the expectations are, and also knowing where to go for those supports that we have at our school. Ideally, by the end of the Care Camp, they felt cared for and better able to integrate into our school as we approach August 1st. Speaking of which, August 1st is our Back to School Bash. This is our open house, the same as last year, and this event is from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. on Friday, August 1st. 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. is two of those hours will be an open house, and 2 of the other hours will be the bash out on the football field. Same as last year, we'll be asking houses to host an event and make sure that they are ready to be a part of a very unique opening to the school year. That day is also our PLC Visioning Day, and PLC Visioning Day is a time where you're going to be able to not only gain professional development hours, but work with your PLC all day long to look at your visions, course visions, and also your department vision, your blogs, etc., to think about what you're doing this year to continue to grow your team to meet those goals that you've established for each other. One thing I'm going to send out briefly this afternoon is also a note about course visioning. Thinking about course visioning in the past, we've all had the same template. I really want to begin moving away from that this year, thinking about the pros and cons of that template, standardized approach versus the redundancy that it creates. And I'm going to share a presentation with all of you. I want you to think about what the implications are for your course vision and the work that we're doing to inspire our students. So back to here and thinking about closing, as we get to Care Camp, as we get closer to EdCamp, continue to think about reaching out to your colleagues, think about what their supports are, whether they be new colleagues or more experienced colleagues that you've worked with over the past year or two. At the end of the day, the extent to which we offer affection and care to each other is going to largely determine the extent to which we're successful in the year ahead. So here I am working to take care of myself. Hopefully you're doing the same. and look forward to seeing all of you in the next 2 weeks.